All right, welcome to our fourth session of our small business workshops here at the Mesquite Chamber of Commerce. Before we really hop into it, our topic today is going to be about community involvement and community partnerships and how you can line up your marketing strategies for that type of involvement. Next month, go delve even deeper into marketing strategies. So this is kind of your two-session worth of marketing for your small business. So before I get really into our topic today, I'm going to introduce our two sponsors that has made these workshops happen and making them be available to be filmed for small businesses. All of these are being filmed. They're going to live on our website. We're actually going to go live this Friday with all of the videos, so feel free to check out our three previous sessions as well on Friday when they go live. But I wanted to introduce first America's Credit Union. If you could just come up here and take a little couple of minutes talking about how America's Credit Union get involved in their community.
Good morning, Chamber. My name is Brandon Cooch. I am the Director of Business Development for America's Credit Union, and we are just so privileged to be a part of this. Guys, the small business workshops, I don't know if you guys have been able to attend any of the previous sections, but it has been such an awesome time to be able to jump in and provide resources for you guys as local business owners. As a credit union, just a little bit of background about us. We've been in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex about 90 years now. Next year will be our 90th anniversary, and we're a local financial institution. So anything that your big banks provide in terms of personal finances, we do that as well. So whether you need a credit card, an auto loan, a mortgage, savings, a high-yield checking account, whatever it is, we provide all of those things ourselves. And one thing that really separates us apart is that we're a not-for-profit financial institution. What that means is everything that we bring in from our lending or from our deposits, all the money that we bring in as a financial institution, we reinvest it right back into our community and back into our shareholders. Our shareholders or our members benefit in this in terms of lower rates on lending options, in terms of the secured lending, as well as higher interest rates on your things like your deposit accounts, your CDs, and things like that. One thing Alex asked me to talk a little bit about this morning in regards to our community relationship topic is how we as a local financial institution engage as a business in our local communities. Now, we have branches across the Metroplex in 5 different cities, but just to give you guys a couple of examples in the ways that we engage, one thing that we try to make very important to us as a financial institution is that we're direct with our consumer. We're direct with our communities, and we're personal with them. There's a lot of competitors in our industry, and I'm sure a lot of you face the same exact thing in your industry as well. Maybe there's somebody right down the street that does the same thing that you do, and you've got to find a way to have a competitive edge. You have to find a way to stand out and set yourself apart from the rest of the community. And that's something that we're really passionate about through just being personal. So many financial institutions these days don't make that intent to be personal. And you guys are fortunate enough that you have 2 financial institutions here that care about you guys so much to be in person with you. So a few things that we've done is from the community engagement side of the industry is we like to engage in our local businesses, so our small business owners. For us, we don't provide business lending or business loans of any kind. We like to focus on the individual finances. So for you personally, maybe it's a benefit for your employees. That's something that we really like to target. We also look for engaging our local school districts. This has been huge for us as a financial institution. Connecting with our kids and connecting with the parents of those kids has really made a huge impact in the communities that we're based in. That reputation develops that we are there and we are not just present, but we actually care for what's going on. The amount of success that has come to us through these type of engagements has really taken us into a whole different level and just in that brand awareness. Another aspect that we really like to get plugged into is our local nonprofits. These are things that are easy to kind of go unnoticed sometimes, but making that intent to go out of your way to plug in, to connect with them, to find ways, whether it's to volunteer as a company, whether it's to volunteer as a specific department in your organization or whatever that is, it really does provide just a great brand awareness for you guys and gives you guys a reputation to cling to in your community. And that's just one of the few things that you guys can do to really set yourself apart, be different in your industry, whatever it is, whatever your small business is. Find that edge that you guys can have that sets you apart from anybody else that might do a similar service. So for us, those are just a few things. Obviously, we're spread out across many different cities, and it looks different compared to our markets that we're in. So whether you have just one location, whether you guys are looking to expand into other areas, I want to encourage you, understand the areas that you're in. Understand the people that are engaged in those communities. Understand the businesses that are side by side with you. Understand the kids and the families that are going through the school district. All these things compile together, and the more that you know, the easier it is for you to connect as a business. So these are just a few things that we do. With that, I think I'm going to pass it over to our friend and our co-sponsor, Mr. Julian over at Spectra Bank.
Thank you. All right, my name is Julian Willman. I'm with Spectra Bank. We're a small community bank. We specialize in commercial lending, helping small business owners grow their companies. Our community involvement is more focused on the business side of things. We're a strictly commercial bank, but our focus is helping the small business grow, helping you invest in real estate, invest in your local communities, and it's kind of a twofold approach for us. It's the small business owner, as I've mentioned, and then we deal with a lot of money service businesses. Those are check cashing businesses, and they help communities that have a lot of unbankable individuals, that whether it's by choice or by circumstance, those are very much needed institutions in all communities in DFW. So we support them by being their banks. So in turn, we bank the unbankable. It's a term we like to use. So that is one big focus for us. The other focus is you as a small business owner, and how can we help you? How can we sit down with you, discuss how we can help you grow, whether you may be buying vehicles or leasing vehicles. And we always have great partners which we can refer out if we are not going to be able to do, say, an auto loan, for example, for a small business. We have a leasing company that we work with hand in hand every week, and they've been a great partner to us. We have other resources we would like to recommend. It may be merchant services for your business accounts. Help you out with your online banking, use our platform, help you understand how you can more effectively run your business. So there's quite a few resources that we like to use in every city. Like Brandon mentioned, every city is a little different, operates a little different, your demographic is different, and for us as bankers, it's important to understand that. Be your advisor when it comes to your banking, and just help you grow and introduce you to our resources, whether it's marketing companies, business partners, business strategy managers. There are so many different assets that we as banks have that we can introduce you to. So if any of you have any questions on that, I'm going to probably be around for a little while afterwards, and I'd love to sit down and talk with you. If you know of someone that needs help, contact Alex at the chamber here, and I'd be happy to come out here and meet with you, sit down, have a cup of coffee and a conversation. And that's how a good relationship starts with a bank. And with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Alex.
For those of y'all that know me, I don't typically get up here and do the presentations myself. I put better people in this role. So I'm actually going to justify why I'm up here for y'all today, because I think one of the biggest things is you need content experts to host these sessions. That's why y'all are here in the room. This is why y'all are listening. So why me? So I am the president of the Mesquite Chamber of Commerce. I've been been in this role since December last year, so roughly a year. But I've been in the industry for 8+ years. I've been doing this. The stuff that we're going to talk about today is literally what I have coached more than 1,000 businesses on over the last 8 years. This is the stuff that I can do in my sleep. This is me. So I've served on multiple nonprofits. I've served on committees in our community. I have done these things that I'm going to tell y'all to get out and do. I'm a graduate of Leadership Garland. I know that's a swear word in this community, but just being said, leadership programs through chambers can sometimes be the most effective way to do these things. I'm currently in the class for Leadership Mesquite, and for y'all today, I am missing my class. So that's how special y'all are to me. And then The last thing, I do have a master's degree in marketing management. So I also understand the marketing side of aspect of things. So why should you be involved in your community? Why should you form community partnerships? Okay, so there's 3 things that I would say that you're kind of focusing on. One is your brand awareness. So brand awareness is just, if no one knows about your brand, you're not gonna grow your business. It's as simple as that. When most small businesses think about a bank, they think about Chase Bank. That's why Julian is here. That's why he's telling y'all Spectra Bank is for small businesses. And what he has done is he's put a human face on that brand. For me, when I think Spectra Bank, I think about Julian's happy face. It's as simple as that. I know we're joking, but it's true. And that's what you want to make your brand be, because we're humans. We have to be human in our brands. Brand awareness, it's also easier and more accomplishable for you to be involved in your community than it is to run big advertising, Super Bowl commercials, Facebook ads, things like that often has a very low click-through rate. This can help you grow your business faster because we're dealing with humans in your own community. There's a big thing that this is been kind of like in the industry for a long time, but we do business with people we know and trust. It's a simple fact. What I found during the research for this is that mothers and millennials especially double down on this. So if your target market is mothers or millennials, you better get started on your community involvement, because otherwise they don't care about you. The other part of this is on the workforce side. So if you want to retain your workforce, there was a survey, 80% of respondents said that community involvement helped them improve ability to recruit employers and reduce turnover. They also found that letting your people that you're working for volunteer help them develop their people and teamwork skills. It's the soft skills. We always talk about soft skills in today's era. We say, man, I just wish that my workforce had more soft skills. Well, you gotta put them out there. You gotta put them into those positions to be able to develop them. And also they strengthen relationships. I think we all know that when we go to work, sometimes we're all working on our own little sphere of influence, we're all doing our own thing. Sometimes you just gotta get everyone together and do something different. The last point here is socially responsible. So 55% of global online consumers are willing to spend more on products and services from socially responsible businesses. It goes back to saying this whole thing like, well, if they care about me, I should care about them. You're building loyalty through just saying, let's go out there, and if they see me around in the community, people are gonna invest in me. This is a big wheel. Think about a big wheel. So if you're investing in the community, it will grow. As the community is growing, the more success our businesses will have. Well, the more success our businesses will have, hopefully they will pay their employees better salaries because they're having more success, right? All right, now the employees are getting more money to go out and spend more money on the community. And that circle just continues and continues and continues until we're all a more successful community. So that's why. Here's your goals. I typically say that community involvement, community partnerships, it should be 1 of 3, or 2 out of 3, or 3 out of 3. But typically you fall into one of these 3 buckets. 1, business sales. This is typical for your small businesses. They want to get involved in community because they're going to grow their business. Let's be honest about it. That's what often community involvement is all about. It's about growing your business. It's making sure that you make more money so you can feed your family and you can serve your community. The second one is expanding your workforce. So this is typically your larger companies here in town. The people that have maybe say 200 employees or 300 employees, that doesn't necessarily sell to the community. but they need the community to work for them. They need them to be in their company and doing the hard work to be able to service the rest of the world. The last one is, you also have this group of businesses that say, hey, we're making enough profit and we have a good workforce, but they want something bigger. So humans are pack animals. We've always been. Think about all of the sayings like, it takes a village to raise a child. It always talks about tribes and villages and together, right? Because we are pack animals. We like to run together with other humans. So a sense of belonging is so important, and that's why a lot of businesses get involved into their communities to belong. They want to be part of something bigger than just themselves. So Helen Keller said that, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. I'm going to throw tons of these quotes at y'all today, so y'all are going to be inspired. Because a lot of people have said a lot about these things. And it's all about planting seeds. I know we all want to go to the store and just buy a 110-year-old oak tree, right? Put it in the front of our house, and man, instant gratification. Is that possible? No? No. Some person, or a squirrel went out there and dug that seed down. He was planting that seed, and over the years, it grew and grew and grew. That's your business. You start planting that seed today, and then continue growing. We're going to go through these things in kind of like different sections. Essentially what they're going to do is they're going to start from easy, and it's not going to get hard. It's going to get expensive. So here's the easy and the free stuff-ish stuff. Online presence. So I know we're talking about community involvement, community partnership, and you're like, why are you talking about online presence? Because we are nosy. We want to know who you are, where you ate, what car you drive, what kind of clothes you're wearing. We want to know that. It's the same thing for our community. So in today's era, you literally can go in and you can research anyone and anything. You can figure out pretty much like what social party or political party someone is voting for based on their social media feeds. And that's what, people crave that. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure you have a website and social media so people can find you. Because they're going to look you up. They're going to hold you under the lens. Especially some of the things that we're going to talk about today when I'm talking about the Mesquite VIPs. They especially want to know who you are. If you're starting to show up at every single luncheon of mine and you're shaking the hand of the mayor every single time, he's going to be like, who is this Brandon guy? Why is he here? And then he's going to look up Brandon, and he's going to look at Brandon's beautiful profile picture, and he's going to be like, Brandon looks like a good guy. All right, next time I'll shake his hand a little stronger. The other thing is, so today, Facebook and Nextdoor is community. It is your local community. We talk about that just being your social media hub and all of that, but it is still your community. It's part of your community. It's actually hyper-focuses your community. But it's a huge pitfall. There's so many pitfalls on Facebook and Nextdoor that I see small businesses make this mistake every single day. They think that I can go in there and post about my business. No one cares. Literally, no one cares about you posting about your business. Most of the time, a moderator would actually take and delete that post. Say someone, just giving an example. So I actually saw this on Nextdoor just 3 months ago or so. Someone said, hey, I need a plumber. And everyone went in and they said, call this guy, call this guy, call this guy, call this guy. It was like 20 comments just with phone numbers, and here's trustworthy and all of that good stuff that we say everyone is, right? One guy said, hey, what's your problem? And the person answered, well, I have a leaky faucet. And he said, well, have you tried, I don't remember exactly what he said, but have you tried these things? Typically when there's a leaky faucet, here's a couple of things that you maybe can do. And the guy answered back, he was like, that fixed it. He's a plumber that literally gave away business. Like, he could have had that. He could have charged a $200 fee to show up and do that 5-minute quick fix, but like, he literally fixed that problem. What he did was, he was the expert. He didn't sell, he helped out a neighbor. Guess what? Next time that person needs a plumber, who do you think he's gonna call? When his basement floods, who is he gonna call? He's gonna call the guy that helped him for free that one time. Because like, that guy was trustworthy. He was willing to sacrifice that little quick and easy thing that he could have sold me on. Instead, he helped me out. So the other thing as well is, if you want to sell to all people, you have to be for all people. When I say that, one of the biggest things in today is we're so us versus them. It's these guys or these guys, right? It's literally sports teams everywhere. So if you as a business want to sell to all people, you have to have social media etiquette and moderate your speech, because you cannot turn off people based on your views. So if you don't want to be for all people, if you want your customers to only be this team over here, then be this team only here. That's fine. But if you're saying, no, I want anyone to walk into my business, well, then your social media etiquette needs to reflect that. The other one is befriend everyone. As a small business owner, it's actually kind of like a neat little thing. I learned this from one of my members. She befriends every single person she meets. She finds them on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. What she says is the moment they accept my request, they're literally accepting being advertised to. Because that's today's social media. Let's be honest about it. Social media today is a marketing tool. It's a sales tool. So the moment they accept to listen and hear from you occasionally, where you're talking about your credit union or your snow cones, and what's this month's flavors, right? Like things like that, or hey, we have a pop-up coming to our retail restaurant this month, or things like that. The last one is your neighborhood. These people know where you live. They know who you are. So does your neighborhood have an association, a neighborhood association? Does it have a club? Get involved. These people already know who you are. Some people, we're so focused on going out there and doing the big things. Like we're trying to, solve all of the problems of the world by going out there and going far and wide. So my second job out of college, it was in sales, and we were selling these reports to all of Scandinavia. For those of y'all that are not familiar with Scandinavia, it's Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, right? So we were in Oslo in Norway, and every time we flew out, my boss forced me to look at Oslo out of the window, and he said, we're spending time, money, and away from our families to go and sell in all these other countries. We could have stayed in Oslo and just sold in Oslo instead. Why are we hopping on a plane to go and do business somewhere else when our own, aka neighborhood, we could have done it there? These people spoke Norwegian, they were in the same town as us. We should have been working in our own neighborhood first, which we didn't. And then, I talked about us versus them. Your neighborhood isn't us. Oh, it's our neighborhood. Hey, neighbor, come on over. Everything is well here. Oh, at least we're not that neighborhood over there. Those guys, those are bad guys. All of them are criminals. But we're just good guys, right? So utilize that as a business owner. It's us. Hang out with us. If none of those things are happening in your neighborhood, well, be that person. Host a street party. Hold a barbecue. When you're in your barbecue, talk a little bit about, hey, I'm a small business lender. I don't know if any one of y'all have a small business or know someone that does have a small business. Just trying to help some small business out, man. I quilt. That's kind of like, I'm a small business owner. I quilt and I make things for the holidays. Then the last thing on your neighborhood is your council member. Your council person is literally elected for your area. So if you want to grow your community inside of your neighborhood, connect with the council person, because the council person literally has to be elected by the people that lives in that area. So typically the council member is the most connected person in your neighborhood. You want to build a lot of relationships really fast? Be on speed dial. Take them out for coffee. Figure out, hey, what's going on in our neighborhood? What can I do to be involved? How can I help you? All of a sudden, it's a obligation for them to help you back because you're helping them. Like, okay, well, no, you're helping me. Well, I guess I need to find a way to help you back. That's how we are. We're always keeping track. We're always keeping score. We're trying to figure out, well, if you help me, I'll help you. It's an obligation vacuum. The way to achieve your own success is to be willing to help somebody else get it first. If you're willing to get someone else to grow their business, you're going to be successful. Promise y'all. All right, now, this is the time commitment stuff. This is the stuff y'all are going to say, I don't have time for that, Alexander. I'm trying to run a business. Wrong. This is how you run a business. It is time commitment, though. So the first one is, does your local school have a PTA? Are there a group, special interest group for your industry? Is there a financial group? Is there a retail restaurant group? Like things like that you can get involved in. So, because when you get involved and you're working next to someone, that's how you build trust. Because you're doing something for someone else first. You're not doing it, you don't come in there and being like, I want to grow my business, and people are like, oh, hold on. But you come in and you say, I want to raise money for this school. Oh, this guy, follow this guy. He knows where we're going. And then they're like, hey, Alexander, what do you do? Oh, I run a Chamber of Commerce. Oh, well, can I join? Oh, yeah, you can. So raise funds for your local school. Go out and do fundraisers and wear a company branded logo. Like, wear your stuff so it's subtle. Not in your face, but a little subtle. Wear a name tag. Hey, I just want to make sure I had a name tag so that you knew who I was. Hey, my name is Alexander. Hey, oh, and it does say Mesquite Chamber of Commerce on here, but we don't have to talk about that yet. Yeah, and then find groups specialized for you, for your industry, and or for your customers. So this can be like, so for me, like I'm always looking for, hey, is there small business groups out there? Where do they hang out? How can I find more small businesses to hang out with? How can I help them? Like here in Mesquite, the city of Mesquite just started a small business success committee. I joined it. Why wouldn't I? Because I want to be there with small businesses, not to sell them membership, but helping them be successful. And the more I help them being successful, the more they're going to ask me, what do you do on a day-to-day basis? Well, I'm a Chamber of Commerce. I help small businesses succeed. Well, you're helping me succeed, so I should be part of your tribe. Yes, you should. Other thing, volunteering. I can guarantee you in this community, every single nonprofit would say, thank you. Please, we need your help. If you came to them and said, hey, I want to volunteer. This is also one of those things that are great for your workforce. Even if you're one person, because you are still the workforce and you need a break sometimes. Or if you're two people, you and your second person needs to get out of the office one time and just go and do something else. Or if you're 500 people, there's still opportunities there to go out and volunteer. You're building a company culture. Your employees are saying, this guy is not just lining his own pockets. They're giving back to the community. I want to work for someone like that. Adopt a spot, pick up trash, select a spot. If you're in a, say that you're in a strip mall, pick that as your spot. Say, hey, can I just like put out some yard signs and say, this parking lot is owned by Mesquite Chamber of Commerce, and then I'm gonna go out there every single morning for 10 minutes and pick up trash in this parking lot. And I call it Mesquite Chamber parking lot. Because people are gonna be like, hey, that strip mall is much nicer now. Someone is taking care of it. I would even be out there painting, because parking spots, so, the parking paints and everything. Just take pride in a spot. Because if you volunteer, the community will give back to you. The other thing is offer free services and products. I know we hate doing this. This is like one of those things that small business owners, we don't like it. But sometimes it can be beneficial. Write it off as a marketing expense. So go to a nonprofit and say, well, I'm an electrician, and I saw that the house that you run your nonprofit out of it's in a bad shape. Can I just come in and spend a full day being an electrician and help it out? Because all nonprofits have big donors. And what you're doing is you're building that goodwill, and they're gonna say, hey, this electrician, he came in, he really helped out. At board meetings, they're gonna talk about this. They really helped us shape this place up. Huh, who was that again? Who was that person that you just talked about? I need an electrician. So you're investing by giving out, but you will eventually get back. The other thing is boards and commissions. Again, any opportunity to get out there and just sit and serve on something really will help you out. Especially on the city side. Like, if you're a resident here in Mesquite and you run a business out of Mesquite, man, you need to get involved in a board or commission. And also, it's like the easiest way to be seen as a community leader. We all want to be seen as community leaders because then people look to us. They look up to us. They want to be part of our sphere of influence. It's like the moment you're on a board or commission, boom, community leader. Where's that person going? Let's follow them. What do they have to say? What do they do when they're not serving our city? It also open up a lot more doors for you because people are like, oh, it's not just someone that wants to sell stuff. This person is giving back to the community. This must be one of the good guys. All right, the partnership stuff. So here is some of the things that it takes even more time than the time commitment stuff, and sometimes it costs money, but you also have to rely on someone else. That's this one. This one is like, now you're starting to have to shake hands. You have to say, okay, let's work together on this, and let's agree. Let's work together and let's agree. So number one, local business collaboration. How can you find non-competing, sometimes even competing businesses can be good. But how can you find someone that is serving the same target audience? I think that's the most important thing here. They need to serve the same target audience because you don't want to just do things to do things. Again, think about, you have a selected amount of time in your day-to-day stuff. So pick things where do the things that makes the most sense for your business. So they need to serve the same target audience, meaning, if you serve women between 35 and 50, then find someone else that serves women between 35 and 50, because now it makes sense. Because we all scratch our heads when we see large Fortune 500 companies partner together. That makes no sense. But we scratch our heads and that makes no sense. Why are they partnering? But if it makes sense for your customers, and they're gonna see that, hey, this is a good partnership. I like this. And always come in it and you say, not from oh man, I want your customers. Go in it and say, how can I help you? How can I help you out? Because in the end, it's gonna help me out. So I always say, co-promote, co-coupon, pop-ups. Those are the top 3 things you can do. So co-promote is, they have your business cards and flyers on their stand and you have the same thing. Or they're pushing your social media stuff out and you're pushing their social media out. hey, our partners in crime is doing a special this weekend. Hop on over and support our friends. Co-coupon. Hey, if you spend $10 at this place, you get a 10% discount over here. If you spend, hey, we're both doing, if you spend money on both places, you get a 25% discount when you show up with the receipts from both places in the last week. Just find ways to be a little creative. You're helping both of each other. Pop-ups. Say that you have a location, you don't have a location, it doesn't really matter. But go to someone else's location and do a pop-up shop. This can be, so Janet, I'm gonna pick on you again. So Janet does snow cones. And she could go and do pop-ups at, America's Credit Union. America's Credit Union really wants to have a employee appreciation, so they have Janet come and do a pop-up in his shop. Or Janet says, well, people sometimes want some sweets. So she partners with a bakery. A bakery hops into her business one day and sells goods out of her shop for one day. Source locally. This is something that we really here at the Chamber believe in, is buy local. You're building local relationships. Typically, maybe it will cost you a little percentage more. Not always. Actually, my last point on this one is going to offer discounts to local companies, because then it's actually cheaper to buy local than it is to go somewhere else. But if you buy local, more people will buy local. You say, hey, I need to buy, plumbing gear. Well, go and buy from someone local that has that same, goals. They're trying to build this community. They're trying to help Mesquite grow. Because now you're helping your neighbors succeed. You're buying from them, they're buying from you. Everyone's buying locally. The other thing that I often say is co-host events and classes. I think COVID really almost overdid this, but we're back to where it's kind of not as intense anymore. So now it's now's the time to get back into doing it. So what happened during COVID was that everyone was I want to do a Zoom class on this, and I want to do a Zoom class on this, and this, and this. And literally, as a chamber, we got this request probably on an average week 5 times a day. So 25 requests a week on content. I don't get that many in a year now. But what's all about is you're giving out content for free. It's content marketing. People love this stuff. So everything is for free, but you're seen as the expert. So going back to let's see, I want to give a really good example on this one because I've seen a lot of good examples on it. So one of my luncheons this year was on EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. So as a small business, you can fully go and run EOS yourself. You can buy the book, you can read the chapters, you can say, I can do this. It is self-explanatory. You don't need anyone to come in and coach you. The guy that presented it is an EOS coach, because one person in that room is going to say, man, this is great. I don't have time to go and do this myself. But you told me all of the tricks and tools. Why don't you come into our business and help me out run EOS? So he is going out there giving out the stuff that he does, gets paid for, he gave it out for free. But then he has people reaching out to him and say, hey, I don't have time. I don't have the ability to. I don't want to do it myself. I want you to do it for me. It has to be sincere though. It can't be, very often small businesses confuse content for advertising. So they go in there and it's a 45-minute worth of advertising. Here's how we do things. Here's our company culture. No one wants to listen to that. They want the real dirty secrets. Because that's how you build trust. That's how content marketing works. You have to give away your company secrets almost for free because someone in that room, what you're hoping for is that 10% of that room is going to come to you and be like, what's your business card? I need to call you next week. That's what you're trying to do. Places that you can do this, typically libraries, chambers of commerce, cities, schools, depending on what your product and service is and what you're trying to do. Those are some of the places that you can go and do this. The partnership stuff for workforce. This one is more specific for workforce especially. But if you're trying to build a workforce, mentorships is a huge one because mentorships, internship, apprenticeship, partner with your local school district, partner with your community college. There's so many tools out there for free. I had an intern this summer. 4 weeks of an internship. Guess how much I paid? Big $0. The city paid for it. What they were trying to do is getting some of the kids from Mesquite ISD out into the actual workforce. And it's a partnership between the school district and the city. And I just raised my hand and said, hey, I would love to have someone come in and help me out for 4 weeks. Didn't pay a cent. And this young generation, they're sharp. Don't underestimate them. They're sharp. So do things like that because now you're helping them understand how your business works, and then they're going to go back and say, man, I kind of like that place. I would like to work there full time one day or in that industry. What you're doing is you're partnering so that one day you're planting that seed, right? So that one day it will grow and you will have that workforce. Job fairs. A lot of businesses think, well, if I post my positions on LinkedIn, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Craigslist, people find me. I'll get the best people. You will get some people. You won't get the best people. The best people you get by partnering with other organizations, talking with people face to face. People that show up at job fairs, guess what? They're serious because they decided to show up to an event where they were not guaranteed an interview, where they had to spend time and money and maybe getting there and getting dressed and everything. That's a time commitment to go to a job fair. These guys are serious. Partner with a local job workforce board. We have Workforce Solutions of Greater Dallas here. Partner with them. They do stuff like this all the time. The Mesquite Chamber, we host a Live, Work, Play, where we literally are trying to get the residents to come out and find these local jobs. It is literally true that you can succeed best and quickest by helping others to succeed. Find a trend in these quotes? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, now the money stuff. This is when you just have expendable income and you want to throw some money at the problem. No, it is not. It's more than that. But so one of the big things is you can sponsor events, teams, everything. But again, go back to what are you trying to do? Are you building your brand? Are you building your network? And you have to go in knowing that. Because so many times we see people sponsor things and they're like, man, I'm so disappointed in this and this and this. Never at the chamber. No. Mind you not, because we actually ask them beforehand why they're sponsoring something. Because I don't want you to throw money at stuff that doesn't make any sense. It needs to make sense. But are you building brand or are you building your network? If you're building your brand, sponsor events, be a title sponsor for a fair at the park or a local sports team or school team or something like that. Your brand is there. Everyone sees your brand. That's brand awareness. This is a fun one. So this is a shout out to your answer. How many times does someone need to see your brand before they can memorize it? How many times? 10, 12?
I initially heard 7, but I think that's changed.
Correct. So 7 is the old school book one. That's the Like when most of us went out of college, they were like 7. When I went out of college, they said, that 7 stuff is a joke. It's 3x that. If no one sees your brand 21 times, you have no chance. They're not going to memorize it. They're not going to remember it. So think about that. How can you get, if you're trying to build brand awareness, you got to get the brand in front of people 21 times. Because think about it. Drive down the street and look at how many brands and impressions you're getting. All the time. If you want to not network, if you're trying to build your network, sponsor events where you can set up a booth so you can interact with people. So remember, like, are you trying to build brand or are you trying to build your network? I'm going to pick on you now, Lori, but Lori sponsored a run, a local charity run. Her name is on the back of a sweater, a shirt, yeah. That's building brand. If Lori had wanted to build network there, she would have sponsored something where she could set up a booth. Typically, there's a cost difference. Typically, there's a difference in what types of events you can do these things at. But be careful so that you're not mistaking one for the other. Serve on a board. Why is this under money stuff? That's probably what you're wondering about. Because you know what? This is something I learned the hard way. First time I served on a board of directors, they said, well, thank you so much, Alex, for accepting serving on this board. So now it's time for us to talk about the money part of it. Wait, what? They said, yeah, we expect our board members to donate at least $2,000 a year. They didn't have that conversation up front. Bad on them. But very often, some nonprofits do have those types of things. That's why I'm putting this under the money stuff. But it's not always. And it's less and less. This is like, again, old school versus new school type of nonprofits. So the newer types of nonprofits are more looking for your expertise. You're bringing something to the table. And as business owners, y'all see the world very different than a lot of these nonprofit boards look at things. Because you look at it from a cost analysis. You're trying to figure out, hey, how can we grow this nonprofit? And what does our banker friends is going to look at, what does the financials look like? What are we spending money on? And how much of the money donated goes back into services and things like that? Versus a lot of these nonprofit boards have people that have served on them for a long time, and they're like, what types of events are we hosting? What kind of fundraising are we doing? You're coming from a different perspective. You think operational, marketing, money, that's what you're bringing, but you're rubbing elbows with others. When you work closely with others, you are growing your business. Because the more you're out there talking with people, the more they're going to be like, this person's a good person. All right, so this is going to come eventually. Y'all knew this. I'm presenting here, talking about partnerships. Of course, your local Chamber of Commerce is going to help you in terms of getting involved in the community, building those community partnerships. So it's what we do. It's literally what we do. It's what I call like the cheat code to getting this done. Because all of these other things that we talked about can sometimes be a lot for a small business owner. What if I told you that once a month you had the opportunity to meet with city manager, mayor, major business owners in this community, and just have a chance to talk with small business owners as well? You'd probably say, that sounds great. Yeah, I do that every month at my monthly luncheon. That's part of what I do. So what we typically are, and also we especially bring that sense of belonging. That's like one of the number one reasons why businesses join. It's actually belonging is number one, growing your sales is number two, and workforce is number three. That's kind of typically the order we see people joining in. Being a small business owner is lonely. It is not fun. You wake up in the middle of the night, you think about, how am I going to grow my business? How am I going to pay the bills? Well, wouldn't it be great if you met some other people that had the same thoughts? Yeah, that's what the chamber is. It's all about networking. Everything we do is networking. Today is networking. Y'all are here in the room, you're all networking eventually. We have, networking events tomorrow. It's literally networking. But everything we do is about networking. It's about building these relationships, these partnerships. So that's, of course, I had to talk about that. I won't die on that hill for too long, but just want to mention that. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Peter Drucker. So don't wait for someone else to tell you when you're successful. You tell yourself when you're successful. Actually, this one is I'm going to bring this back to our first session. Business plan. It all starts with a business plan. If you have a business plan, you can predict your future. You can create it. Now I'm going to change gears completely, but not. So, conscious capitalism is a way of life for a lot of businesses in our community. It actually, a lot of the things that I talked about comes into, if you're a conscious capitalism type of business, this is the way of life. This is the way you do business. So this idea came from, it was actually Whole Foods started the idea, the founder, John Mackey. And today, Starbucks, Southwest Airlines, Costco, Ben & Jerry's, Container Store, they're utilizing it. But essentially what it is, it's 4 pillars that they believe in. Higher purpose. Your purpose is not just making profit for yourself. You believe that you're going to make a positive impact on our society and our community and environment. Stakeholder orientation. You're prioritizing the well-being of all stakeholders, not just yourself as a business owner, but your employees, your customers, your suppliers. You're buying local, you're taking care of your community that way. Conscious leadership. It's not my way or the highway. It's listening to feedback. It's listening to the people around you. Conscious culture. It's allowing your businesses, your employees to thrive, to learn. We're also worried, what if I train my employees and they leave? Right? You always heard that one. Well, the worst case scenario is you don't train your employees and they stay. That you don't want that, right? This is better, train them. So here's a fun extra tidbit. So I went into ChatGPT and I said, ChatGPT, I want to talk really quickly about conscious capitalism. Can you give me a couple of suggestions on examples of all of these 4 tenets? And Chat said, sure. 15 seconds later, here's some examples, because those are lots of words, right? Fancy words, and here it is. But higher purpose. It's a shoe company donating a pair of shoes to a child in need for every pair sold. I think that's Tom's side that's actually doing that. Stakeholder orientation. A local bakery sourcing ingredients from nearby farmers, sourcing locally, buying locally, treating employees well, and creating a cozy space. ChatGPT was feeling really frisky here. For the community to enjoy, benefiting customers, employees, and local suppliers. But again, it's not just a bakery earning money and increasing their prices. That's not what it said. It said buying locally, creating spaces for employees and their community. Conscious leadership. A CEO who takes time to listen to employees' idea, value their well-being, and makes decisions that consider the long-term impact, not short-term, what makes me a quick buck. Because if you are thinking short-term, quick buck, you're going to lose, your community is going to lose faith in you. Meaning, if they lose faith in you, you might as well just pack up your bags and go to a different community. Because that's one of the things I didn't touch on here, but man, once you're out, you're out. It's hard to fight yourself back into a community. Once you've lost the faith of, and actually one of the things that we do a lot is sometimes we get approached by businesses that has had that happen. It's been an ownership change, something has happened, and they come to us and they say, hey, we want to build goodwill back. And I say, man, it's a not a staircase, it's a wall. I say, it's gonna go straight up. Are you ready to invest in that? And very often they say yes. Like, we're here, like we have a brick and mortar here, or we own an apartment complex and or things like that. So I often say, well, then it's gonna take a while. We're gonna get you there. For them, it's often about them how they have to sponsor things that completely just like essentially throwing money at the problem very often. Other thing is they need to sit in meetings, they have to show their goodwill, they have to invest, they have to a lot of time commitment. And sometimes like I have to go and advocate on their behalf. No. These are good guys now. I promise you, trust me, put your faith in the chamber. They have changed. Because once you get thrown out, it's hard to get back in. So, conscious culture, tech company fostering a culture of learning and growth, providing opportunities for professional development, encouraging collaborative and inclusive environment. How can you learn more? There's a book. It's yellow. It stands out. But it's written by John Mackey, which is the co-founder of Whole Foods, and Raj Sisodia. He is a marketing professor. So it's a really good read. It is straightforward. But that being said, a lot of these things, a lot of these tenets is seen in businesses that are involved in their community. And a lot of the stuff that I talked about, it is being a conscious capitalist. Because in the end, I need y'all to make money. Making money is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But when you're considering, should I buy that third cabin in the woods? Should I buy that fourth yacht? That's when you should say, hey, maybe I should invest in my community. Maybe I should pay my employees better. That's what conscious capitalism is talking about. Invest in your community, invest in your people. We're right at 10 o'clock. Man, I did this on I didn't even rehearse this, but I kind of have an internal clock. But what I wanted also to make sure is, if we're in a couple of minutes over, that's fine. Questions. I threw a lot of things at y'all. I didn't open up for questions in the middle of it, but I wanted to open up for questions now. Anyone that has any questions, I know I've thrown a lot of things at y'all. Lori.
Well, just a little bit more of a comment, kind of validating the things that have been brewing in my mind for really a couple of years about the community involvement and the opportunities to teach people. You probably even heard me talk about, I'd like to host a little sit and sew where people get to help put together a quilt top, but they get exposure to a skill and can kind of launch from there. And I think a key for me is being intentional enough with it, without it being too salesy or selfish, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So any tips that you have about that, maybe it's just in the words and the sincerity, and making people understand for sure why they're there, I guess.
Yeah, so if you were saying, so first question, before I make any assumptions, what age group is currently your customers and what's your target market?
Yeah, my target customer would be parents of teens at least and more.
Okay.
That's my true customer that's going to come to me with money.
Yeah. Well, so but also think long term here, because you have a lot of different ways to go about this, Lori. So one of them is you can say targeting senior living places, like going and partnering with them because they're always looking for activities, right? And being they bring in their kids and grandkids, and it's just a whole community day, and you partner with the senior living place. That's one way to do it. But then what you might say is, okay, well, is the people that do we need to go out and recruit? So I'm, thinking workforce-wise. But I know you're not hiring a workforce, but put that hat on and say, 10 years from now, are people going to be interested in quilting? If not, if you think, no, maybe they're going to go away and that's going to be impactful for your business if less and less people are interested in that, well, then you need to go and partner with schools and partner with libraries and host this so that families and kids can go out and actually enjoy it and be part of that. Because what you're trying to do is just, one is going out there and hosting these classes for people that are potential customers or right now. But then you have to start thinking about when these people pass, is your clients ready? Or your potential clients ready to, are they interested? And what can you do? So yeah, those are some of the things I would do. I would try to see if I could partner with the school district, libraries, and senior living. Actually, active living would probably be the best place to start, because that you're kind of crossing that middle of the line places, and hosting that, asking them, hey, I want to come in and do an activity. And then I would do purely like just teaching. Just go in there, teach. Here's how you quilt, and walking around like a teacher. Yeah, you're on it. And then at the end, or in the background, you have your own stuff hanging there. And you're like, hey, if you want to learn more, my name is Lori. Here's my card. Simple stuff like that.
I've actually done probably 4 of those at senior centers in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
They were a little more, here, do you want to help me do things? But it was truly like just an activity, just to give, they live forward something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but put out your best stuff. Like, because that's marketing for you. Like, your product is your marketing, so like you need it out so they can see what expert level looks like. Because what you're doing is you're teaching them the beginner phase. Here's how you do it. But then they're going to look at their own stuff and they're going to be like, yeah, this is okay. If I was 5, and then they're going to look at yours and they're going to be like, oh, and now they want to buy that. So, Bren.
Oh, I was just kind of elaborating on what she was saying. And I just wanted to attest to what Alex was saying a lot about going out of your way to build those relationships personally, especially with the local, we like to call them influencers in our industry, right? Like your city mayor, your council member, whoever that is, the city officials. I personally am where I am today because of those interactions. And I had entered into my industry back in, I ran markets for Wiley, Saxe, Murphy, Garland, and Rockwall. So I managed a lot. But I started there and I didn't know anything. I didn't grow up in the area, I wasn't from there, and I didn't know where to start. And it was a lot of hours with no business mindset at all, just being there and being present. And it sucked, honestly. Like, there was some aspects of it that was not fun. But it was being there at every single outing, at every single ribbon cutting that the chamber hosts, at whatever those interactions were. Seeing the mayor at an event, walking up to him, shaking his hand, saying, "Hey, thanks for being here today. We appreciate having you." After 4, 5, 6 times of that interaction, we were on a first name basis, and we recognized each other. And the next thing was when I hosted my own event, I made a call to him, and he was there. And with him was 10 to 15 other people that he brings with him, right? So it was really great. Those relationships are important. Don't underestimate the value of those relationships and going out of your way to spend the time to do that, because it really does make a difference. And it's all outside of the business hours. A lot of it is sacrificing that time that you would be investing back in the business, but in the long term, the benefits are great. So
Perfect. Thank you.
just 2 cents there.
Yeah. I have time for one last question, if anyone has a last question. No? All right, good. Well, thank you for being here. Again, thank you for watching, and we will see y'all next month. Happy holidays. Thank you.